Hi everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Last year I did a video explaining the US Figure Skating Excel series. There have been some changes. I'm going to explain everything that has changed. Even if you're already familiar with the Excel series, you'll want to keep watching this video so that you'll be in the know for 2023. This is the Excel program's 5th year. There's a theme for this year: excellent execution. The theme ties back to the original goal of the Excel program, to encourage you to skate where you can skate competently with outstanding performance. While I go over the series in more detail in my other video from last year, let's just start with a brief overview. You used to be able to skate competitively as test track. Test track events were offered at non-qualifying competitions. The purpose of test track was to line up the competitive levels with the testing requirements, to provide skaters with a fair playing field to continue competing and testing according to their abilities. Test track limited the technical difficulty. It was intended for skaters who primarily focus on testing, but still enjoy competing. This provided an alternative to the well-balanced events that limited the technical elements and age requirements on the levels. On the other hand, the well-balanced program is designed for the competitive skater on track towards sectionals and qualifying competitions. The skating standard for well-balanced is far above the test level, so skaters will often hold off on taking free skate tests, even if they can pass them, to remain more competitive at the well-balanced level they choose to compete at. Whatever level you decide to compete at for this season, that is gonna become your floor. You will not be able to compete under that level. Be careful with what you choose to compete at for this season. That's gonna become your level for future seasons. For example, if you compete at Intermediate Plus in the 2023 Excel series, that level, Intermediate Plus, will become your minimum level for next season. You may remain at Intermediate Plus, or you may choose to move up to Novice. You're not going to be able to do is drop back down to the juvenile level. Keep that in mind if you skate up this season. I know this is confusing, so have a conversation with your coach to determine what is best for you and your skating. If you plan on testing your singles free skate during the 2023 Excel season, you should start the season registered to compete at one level above your current highest US figure skating test pass. You may not change or move up levels once the deadline has passed. All events that you compete at in the series must be from the same level. Of course, as is often the case, there's an exception. Skaters competing in Excel beginner through Excel pre-juvenile levels are permitted to move up one level, but you may not move up if you're registered in the plus levels and the levels competing with IJS protocol scores. If you medaled at the 2022 Excel Festival, you must compete at least one level higher than you competed in the 2022 series. I hope that clears up any confusion, because I know there have been a lot of questions about that. Anyway, US Figure Skating phased out test track in September 2018 and has replaced it with the Excel program. The Excel program is intended to accomplish many of the same goals as the test track did by providing competitive opportunities to develop your technical skills and continue your progress. Who exactly is Excel for? Excel is perfect for skaters that are more focused on testing than competing. I suggest Excel for my skaters that are more recreational and prefer a less aggressive competitive track. The Excel program is also a bridge between Learn to Skate USA and US Figure Skating. The Excel levels allow you to push the technical envelope beyond the test requirements while continuing to encourage your skating progression. If you want to graduate from the free skate levels in Compete USA, Excel Beginner and Excel High Beginner may be really good options for you. Excel is an excellent opportunity to compete in an exciting environment that motivates you to strengthen your program components while advancing your technical skills. The vision of the Excel program is to inspire more young skaters to continue training and remain committed to participating in figure skating by providing events that allow you to showcase your strengths. Excel is also an opportunity for grassroots skaters and coaches to become more familiar with the fundamentals of IJS, the International Judging System. If IJS is new to you, I have a whole video. Actually, I lied. It's a bunch of videos about IJS. There's links to all of them in the description down below, with 10 levels from beginner to senior available at non-qualifying competitions, including designated Excel series competitions. Excel free skate programs consist of required elements that differ from the more competitive, well-balanced track. You can also register for the Excel Series to earn points based on the results of Excel events at designated Excel Series competitions. For this coming year, 2023, the series will run from January 19th through June 11th. The 2023 Excel National Final and Festival will be held July 13th through 16th in Austin, Texas. Following the excellent execution theme, some additional special recognition will be awarded. Pins will be awarded to all athletes in IJS events at the Excel National Final who earn at least 1 plus 3 from a judge on any element during the final. Presentation awards will also be awarded to the skater with the highest program component score at each qualifying level during the 2023 Excel National Final, and they will receive an award presented during the awards ceremony. The list of Excel Series competitions is now available. You can find it on the Excel Series information page behind the members only area of the US Figure Skating website. I've also posted it in my annual figure skating planner. If you haven't gotten yours yet for 2023, there's a link to it in the description down below. Skaters competing at the Excel levels of beginner, high beginner, pre-preliminary, preliminary, pre-juvenile, juvenile, and intermediate will compete to earn special recognition at the Excel National Festival based on their participation and placement within their section. All skaters competing at those levels who compete in at least 2 competitions will receive an automatic invitation to compete in the Excel National Festival. You heard me right. You will automatically qualify for the Excel National Festival if you compete at those levels and participate in at least 2 Excel Series competitions. Skaters competing at the Excel levels of preliminary plus, pre-juvenile plus, juvenile plus, intermediate plus, novice, junior, and senior will compete to earn an invitation to participate in the Excel Finalist Camp and National Excel Final at the National Festival. For Excel Series competitions, if you are registered for the series, you cannot compete as Excel and well balanced at the same competition. However, that is not to say that you can't potentially compete at a non-Excel competition at a well-balanced level. The Excel Series is not intended to limit you. You can compete in well-balanced outside of the Excel Series. You just cannot compete in Excel Free Skate and well-balanced Free Skate at the same competition. But Excel doesn't have short programs. You can compete in Excel Novice Free Skate, for example, and Novice Well-Balanced Short Program. You can't compete in the Excel Novice Free Skate and the well-balanced novice free skate at the same event. I encourage you to read through all the official information that US Figure Skating provides, including the handbook and the technical manual. While I'm a fully compliant PSA ranked and rated coach, I'm not on staff for US Figure Skating, nor am I a committee member or an official. I'm also probably not your coach, so it's best to read the official information and check with your own coach. Anyway, the final competition is the Excel National Festival. The Excel National Festival is an opportunity for single skaters of all levels to participate and compete at a national event. Who is eligible to participate in Excel? You must be an eligible member in good standing of US Figure Skating. You can be a member through the skating club of your choice. Your section during the Excel Series is based on the location of your home figure skating club. Suppose you're an individual member of US Figure Skating directly, not through a club. In that case, your legal residence will determine your section. You may not switch sections during the season, even if your home club changes. However, you may enter any series competition anywhere in the country. You do not have to compete only in your home section. Eligibility this year is very similar to the past season. Skaters must be under 21 years of age as of the registration deadline, March 1st, 2023. Any skater who medaled last season at the 2022 Excel National Final in the qualifying levels, which again are all the plus levels and novice through senior, must register and compete in the 2023 Excel Series at least one level above the level that they competed in during the 2022 series. Skaters interested in participating in the 2023 Excel Series must complete the online Excel Series registration form and pay the $50 entry fee. Registration will be available beginning December 15th. The registration deadline is March 1st, or before your first series competition, whichever is earlier. This is exactly the same as last year. I want to point out to you to ensure that you don't wait until after your first competition. Apparently, some skaters last year had been trying to register for the series after they perform well at their first competition, and then they tried to get that to count toward their ranking. This is not permitted. The only results that will count for the Excel series are the Excel series competitions you participate in after you have registered for the series. Make sure you register before competing in any Excel series competition. A late registration fee will be implemented from March 2nd to March 7th. That fee is steep. Instead of $50, it's $90. If you miss the deadline, your registration fee will almost double. That is a hard deadline. US Figure Skating will not accept any registrations after March 7th. Mark that date on your calendar now. I realize last year they may have accepted a few registrations after the stated deadline. They've made it really clear to us that will not be permitted this year. Make sure you register on time. Additionally, there's a separate registration for each individual series competition. Here is your checklist to join the Excel series for 2023. First, make sure that you've renewed your membership for this season, 2022 to 23. Then register for the Excel series via the series application, which will open December 15th. Register for at least 2 approved Excel series competitions and track your series standing. How are Excel series events scored? IJS is used for all the Excel Plus levels and juvenile through senior levels. All other events may be scored using either IJS or 6.0. It's up to the local organizing committee. If you're at one of the lower levels, check the competition announcement to ensure you're prepared for how your event will be judged. It could be different from one competition to another. There are suggested event group sizes in the Excel handbook. However, group sizes may be slightly smaller or larger at the discretion of the chief referee. If an IJS Excel event is split into 2 separate groups, the chief referee is encouraged to keep the judging and technical panel as consistent as possible. I have videos on both IJS and 6.0 scoring systems. I have an entire video explaining how Excel Beginner and High Beginner are scored using IJS. That's an excellent video to watch, even if you're not competing with IJS at those levels. It can really help you to see how the judges consider your elements, even when they're scoring you with 6.0. There's a link to all those videos, especially that one, in the description down below. For all the plus levels and novice through senior, your top 2 IJS protocol scores at these levels earned at a series competition will be added together to get your final points. For the open levels, Excel Beginner through intermediate, you must be registered for the Excel series and participate in at least 2 series competitions to have your scores recognized and register for the Excel National Final and Festival. For all levels, you may compete in as many Excel series events as you would like, but only your top 2 scores will count towards your ranking. At the end of each approved Excel series competition, all IJS competition results will be uploaded to EMS by the chief accountant as soon as possible following the close of the event. Each skater's score is transmitted to the standings. Only a skater's current 2 highest scores will be officially recorded. If you finish a competition and you beat one of your previous 2 highest scores, the scores will be updated. If you compete, but you don't beat one of your 2 current highest scores, the previous 2 scores will stand. You will not appear on the Excel series standings until you've earned a score at an approved Excel series competition at the level of your series application. To access the standings, you're going to need to log into members only at usfigureskating.org, select EMS, click on series information, choose 2023 Excel series, and then select standings. The standings will display a sectional rank. For Excel series qualifying events, invitation to the Excel final is tied to the 2 highest posted scores in the series standings, not from individual event placement. Open event standings will be updated on a bi-weekly basis starting February 1st. The Excel program and the test committee will still offer test credit for IJS protocols for those competing at juvenile and up, 1 test level above your current singles free skate level. You can submit the protocol from that competition to pass your free skate test. The actual procedure varies from competition to competition. You'll need to check the actual competition announcement to find out how you would obtain all the information to submit for test credit. You'll also need to meet minimum scores. There's more information on submissions and the minimum scores required in US Figure Skating's member-only section. Again, those of you that have my 2023 annual figure skating planner, I include all that technical notification information and many other pretty important documents in my rule changes section. If you're interested in purchasing, it's received rave reviews and makes a really great holiday gift too. I feel weird plugging myself. You'll never know if I don't tell you. There's a link to the planner in the description down below if you're interested in checking that out. Now let's discuss some of the changes to the required elements and technical calling. First, the jump sequence definition has been changed for all levels to reflect the official definition from the ISU. When I say sequence in this video, I'm talking about a group of related items, like a jump sequence. What I'm not talking about are sequins, like the sparkly things. To some of you, that might seem obvious, but I recently had a situation where a skater thought that when I said step sequence, she thought I was saying sequins. So to her, the step sequence just had to be something that was really sparkly. She's not wrong. You can sparkle in your step sequence. Anyway, beginning December 1st, 2022, in Excel events, a jump sequence will consist of 2 or 3 jumps, in which the second or third jump is an axle type jump with a direct step from the landing curve of the first or second jump into the curve of the axle type jump. This is for all levels. Some examples of a jump sequence: waltz jump plus waltz jump, sow cow plus axle, lutz plus axle, toe loop plus toe loop and axle, axle and flip, or axle and axle. The axle type jump can be the second jump or the third jump or the second and third jump. So there's more variety than there used to be for your jump sequence. All the jumps in a sequence will receive their full value. That's a huge deal. In the past, jump sequences only received 70% of the value. Remember though that a maximum of 1 jump sequence is permitted for all levels. Keeping with the theme of excellent execution and having skaters perform a variety of skills. Starting this season, the levels Excel Beginner through Excel Juvenile Plus, there's a maximum of 2 of any of the same jump. It's 2 of each kind of jump, whether in a sequence, combination, or performed solo. For example, if you were to do a loop plus loop jump combination, that covers your loops, you're done. You cannot execute any additional solo loop and receive credit for it later in your program. For the Excel Beginner level, the only allowable jump combinations are either a waltz jump plus toe loop or a sow cow plus toe loop. The only permitted jump sequence is a waltz jump, with the updated definition of a jump sequence. You cannot do any turns, hops, or side steps between those 2 waltz jumps. The landing of the first waltz jump must flow directly into the takeoff of the next waltz jump. You could exit the final waltz jump with a side toe hop. That would be a transition or choreography. You could not do a side toe hop between the 2 waltz jumps. There is a maximum of either 2 jump combinations or 1 jump combination and 1 jump sequence. You could not do 2 jump combinations and 1 sequence. You could do 2 jump combinations or 1 jump combination and 1 jump sequence. For Excel Juvenile and Juvenile Plus, the single axle can be repeated once, but not more than that. It can be part of a solo jump or part of a jump sequence or combination. Starting this season, there is a maximum of 2 single axles in Excel Juvenile or Juvenile Plus. This is meant to encourage you to master a wider variety of jumps and not just choose 2 or 3 jumps to work on. Last year in Excel Juvenile Plus, there were a lot of skaters doing more than 2 single axles. Some skaters were using the 5 jumping passes to do 4 single axles. There wasn't much in the way of variety. This year, they're trying to prevent that by limiting the number of axles to encourage you to master all the different jumps. That requirement is just for Excel Juvenile and Juvenile Plus, not for intermediate, novice, junior, or senior. Beginning January 1st, the step sequence requirement for Excel Junior, there will no longer be a leveled step sequence. Instead, the requirement will be a choreographic sequence, which is the same as well balanced. There's no requirement in terms of a pattern. It must be clearly visible and consist of at least 2 different skating movements. The judges evaluate this element strictly solely on either positive or negative execution. If a choreographic sequence meets those requirements, it will be confirmed. If it does not meet that criteria, it will receive no value. Let's move on to spins. In the past, there's been some confusion at the Excel pre-preliminary, preliminary, and pre-juvenile levels because the technical requirements vary from well-balanced requirements. This year, they're trying to align the two tracks a little bit better to avoid that confusion. There are some slight changes at the Excel pre-preliminary and preliminary levels. For Excel pre-preliminary, there are 2 spins. One must still be a single spin in one position. New for this year, the second spin may be another single position spin, or it may be a combination spin with no change of foot. For Excel preliminary, one spin must be in a camel or layback spin with no change of foot and no change of position. That is the same as last year. New for this year, the other spin must be a spin combination with or without a change of foot for a minimum of 6 revolutions. There may be no flying entry on that spin. I think most of you were probably already doing that. I want to make sure that I point that out to you. At pre-preliminary, preliminary, and preliminary plus, the spin in one position will have a maximum value of level 1 for both spins. The only level feature for this coming season at those levels would be if you achieved 5 continuous revolutions in either a camel, sit, layback, or Bielmann position. Unlike the ISU criteria, this 5 revolution feature does not require the position to be in a difficult variation. You can just do a regular sit spin for 5 revolutions and achieve a level 1 if you are in a continuous position for those 5 revolutions. But there's always a but. As was the case in previous seasons, if you do not achieve a position for 2 continuous revolutions, but there is a recognizable position, the spin will receive a level base. At these levels, Excel pre-preliminary, preliminary, the only way a spin would receive no value is if the spin has less than 3 revolutions. For combination spins and change combination spins at these levels, you can still receive a level feature if you achieve all 3 basic positions anywhere in a combination spin, as long as the position is held for at least 2 continuous revolutions. These can be executed in the basic positions or in a variation. They're looking for a camel position, a sit position, and an upright position, with each position held for a minimum of 2 continuous revolutions. The spin will have no value if no basic position is achieved anywhere in the spin. If you achieve 1 basic position within the spin will receive a level base with a V assigned to it. If you complete 2 basic positions, the spin will receive a level base and will not have a V attached to it. The maximum level of a spin is a level 1. Let's move on to Excel pre-juvenile and pre-juvenile plus. New for 2023, spins will max out at a level 2 instead of a level 1. The 2 spin requirements at these levels are a spin in one position and a combination or change combination spin. Just like at pre-preliminary and preliminary levels, a spin in one position has a possible level feature at 5 continuous revolutions in camel, sit, layback, or Bielmann. If you choose to execute the sit, it does not have to be in a difficult variation of the sit position. That is required to receive higher than level base. Any other feature can be performed to obtain a maximum level 2. Let's suppose you do a sit spin with a sit forward difficult variation. You hold that spin for 5 continuous revolutions or more. You could receive 1 level feature for hitting the 5 revolutions. Additionally, you could receive another level feature for the difficult variation of the sit spin. This means you could potentially receive a level 2. Let's say you did the same spin and only held a spin for 4 revolutions. In that case, the spin would have a level base. While you did achieve the difficult variation, you did not complete the 5 revolutions that are required. This is the same as in the pre-preliminary and preliminary levels. If the basic position is not performed for 2 revolutions, but is recognizable, the spin will receive a level base. For juvenile and juvenile plus, the maximum level is a level 2. The maximum of level 3 is for Excel Intermediate, Intermediate Plus, and Excel Novice. For Excel Junior and Excel Senior, all spins will max out at a level 4. You can find most of the information if you're looking for additional resources on any of the technical stuff in ISU Communication 2474. and 2475. Also within the Excel section of the US Figure Skating website, refer to the Excel Free Skate Elements chart and the Excel program technical information. If you're looking for some of the values of the elements that are not in the ISU communication, for example, half jumps and waltz jumps, should you be at a competition where the non-qualifying levels are using IJS, you can find that information in Technical Notification 269. Remember, I also have that video on how Excel Beginner and High Beginner are scored using IJS. Be sure to check that out too. All of this goes into effect January 1st, 2023. If you have any questions, most of them can be answered by the technical notification, the Excel handbook, and the Excel technical handbook. Again, I have most of the critical rule change documents in my figure skating planner, the annual version for 2023. There's a link to that in the description down below. Remember to always check with your own coach about anything that you find confusing. If your coach has additional questions, they can reach out to US Figure Skating directly. All the contact information is in the Excel handbook. I look forward to many of my skaters competing at the Excel series again in 2023. And I look forward to seeing many of you. If this video has helped you, please give it a like and share it with somebody else you think it could help. And remember, I post videos every week that can help you with your figure skating, your nutrition, your fitness, and live a better life. So remember to subscribe and ring that bell so that you never miss a video. This is Amy. Thank you for watching. Happy competing. I will see you real soon. Bye.